When most people hear the word affair, they immediately think of bad people, people with no morals, people who never loved their spouse. But what if that isn't always true? What if some of the people who end up having an affair never imagined they would? What if the danger isn't that you're a bad person, but that you're a human being? Today's video isn't about excusing infidelity. There is never a justification for betraying your spouse or partner, but instead it's about understanding how affairs often begin, so you can recognize the warning signs before it's too late. Because the goal isn't simply to avoid cheating. The goal is to build a relationship that is protected long before temptation ever appears. So here is point one. Affairs rarely begin with a kiss. Most affairs don't start physically. They usually begin emotionally. A conversation at work, a friend who listens, someone who makes you feel appreciated, a few innocent messages, then more messages, longer conversations, sharing personal frustrations. Eventually, emotional intimacy develops. Long before anything physical happens, the emotional bond has already begun replacing the connection that should exist inside the relationship. That's why healthy boundaries matter. People don't usually wake up one morning and decide to have an affair. Most simply fail to recognize how small compromises become dangerous over time. And this leads us to point number two. Loneliness inside a relationship is dangerous. One of the greatest myths is that affairs only happen in unhappy marriages. That's not always true. Many couples appear happy from the outside, but privately, they've stopped talking. They stopped laughing. They stopped dating. And they stopped listening. When emotional needs remain ignored for months or years, loneliness can grow even while two people share the same home and the same bed. However, loneliness never excuses infidelity. You need to know that. There is no excuse. But it does, however, explain why emotional attention from someone else can become incredibly powerful. So whatever you do, protect your relationship by staying emotionally connected. Never assume your spouse already knows how much you love them. There are two things that you need to do. You need to show it, and you need to tell them. So here's point number three. Good intentions are not enough. Many people believe I will never cheat, and they believe that from the heart. But that's exactly what countless unfaithful people believed before it happened. So good intentions don't replace wise decisions. If you continually place yourself in compromising situations, guess what? Eventually, temptation becomes easier to justify. Healthy relationships aren't protected by confidence. They're protected by boundaries. So don't hide conversations. Don't keep emotional secrets. Don't build private friendships that exclude your spouse. I know many times we think that it's possible, but it's best if we don't. The other person might feel left out and feel there's something going on when there isn't actually anything happening. So transparency protects trust. Be transparent and let the trust continue to build and grow in your relationship. This brings us to point 4. Because small choices become big consequences. Almost every affair follows a pattern. And sometimes the pattern is like this: one conversation, one compliment, one secret, one lunch, one text message. It all begins somewhere. One emotional confession, one lie. Small choices repeatedly, consistently, eventually create life-changing consequences. And that's true in every area of life. The same principle that destroys relationships can also strengthen them. Small daily acts of love, like kindness and respect, forgiveness and prayer. Also, quality time. Those tiny investments build marriages that become harder to break. So here's point 5. Protect the relationship before you need protection. I'm telling you, most people buy insurance before disaster happens. So relationships deserve the same mindset. Date each other. Communicate honestly. Address conflicts quickly. Pray together if you're people of faith. Celebrate each other's successes. And speak appreciation often. Matter of fact, every day would be good. Never stop pursuing the person that you choose. That's another problem and another mistake that a lot of men make. They stop pursuing. Because healthy marriages don't happen automatically. They are intentionally built every single day. So here's a biblical perspective. We know that the Bible reminds us about something very important. So it goes like this: therefore, let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. You cannot be too high-minded and think, well, and you say, this will never happen to me. Because that verse isn't meant to create fear. It's meant to encourage humility. None of us is above temptation. And many times you don't see temptation coming. Because the strongest relationships remain strong simply because both people continue guarding their hearts, protecting their boundaries, and choosing one another every single day. That's how it works. Affairs really begin with one terrible decision. They usually begin with hundreds of small ones. But here's the good news. The good news is this: healthy relationships are built exactly the same way. So we begin with one conversation, one apology, one act of kindness, one prayer, one intentional choice at a time. If today's video challenged or encouraged you, subscribe to Love Factual for practical relationship advice grounded in wisdom and real life. And I'd like to hear from you. What do you believe is the biggest thing couples can do to protect their relationship? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. Until next time, take care of your heart and take care of the people who trust you with theirs. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.